Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I hope you heard what I said the first time because I'm not repeating myself. Glad everybody could be with me on this good Monday. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe on Apple, SoundCloud, Spotify, and YouTube. I'm on Instagram at I'm Not Repeating Myself Pod, and I'm also on TikTok at I'm Not Repeating Myself Pod. Again, glad everybody could be with me on this good Monday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I know I did. Football season is officially here. Well, it was here Thursday, but the big Sunday, first Sunday of the year. Hope everybody, team did what they were supposed to do. And if not, prayers with you. Of course, you can see, got the squad on me. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this thing, man. Drake dropped Iceman episode 3 on Thursday night. He dropped like around 9 o'clock p.m. This is the third installment of his live series that he's been doing for his highly anticipated album, Iceman. That's slated supposed to be coming out sometime later this year. I'm not sure exactly when it's supposed to drop, but it is supposed to drop somewhere before the end of the year. I'm hearing October-ish, maybe early November. And honestly, what I got to say about it is, man, I thought it was mid, man. I just got to be real. I think since after the first Iceman episode, it's been lackluster. It's been mid. Nothing's really been standing out to me. Nothing's been sticking. I haven't been feeling none of the featured records that he's been doing with other artists. It was a few episodes ago when I talked about the record he did with Central C on the second episode. Really wasn't feeling that. This latest one that he did with Yeet, I wasn't liking that. I think he played a few more songs, but nothing really stuck with me. And what I really thought, what I was gonna hear, was the record that he premiered. Not premiered, but he gave us like a tease of it at the end of episode 2. It sounded like it was produced by Conductor Williams, but I didn't hear that. So I don't know what direction that he's going with this, but at this point, it's like, bro, you can keep these live streams if it's gonna be like that, because ultimately it's about the music. Ultimately, it's about the music, and I feel like if the music ain't sticking, then I don't really care about the live streams. I'm just being honest. You know, I'm a Drake fan, so I do have a certain level of expectations from him, especially when you do a live stream rollout. This is the first time we've seen a live stream rollout for an album, so he tapping into something new. So the anticipation is building up, and it's it hasn't been delivering. I'm just being real; it hasn't been delivering. I don't know what direction that he's going with it. Now I'm seeing some people say, of course, these probably ain't the records that's going to be on the album. Basically giving him some grace, but I'm going based off face value and what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing so far is this ain't really been hitting on nothing. I just got to be real. I get it from a visual standpoint. Doing what he want to do. But hey man, I want to hear some dope music, and I ain't really been hearing no dope music from these episodes so far. And again, when you do a rollout implementing a live stream, that's some different shit. That's something that's not the norm. Like, artists don't do a live stream rollout for an anticipation of an album. So again, I don't know what direction that he's trying to go, but if I'm judging it strictly for the music and the artistry of it, now visually is dope. For him to be doing this live stream, riding around, and the quality that is been had so far, it's good. But the music, lackluster, hasn't been sticking. Nothing has really stood out to me, man. So hopefully, I mean, if he does another episode, hopefully, I'm gonna tune in. But after that next one, I'll be like, all right, bro. Just at this point, just give me the album. Just give me the album, bro. Because nothing's really been sticking. Nothing's really been sticking. And I really thought I was gonna hear like some rap shit. And I like the bops. Don't get it twisted. I do like R&B Drake. I do like some of the bops that he be putting out. But ultimately, why I like Drake and why I'm a fan of Drake is when he be rapping for real. Like, he really getting his bag, rapping on that 3 to 4 minute, rap no hook type shit. That's what I personally like. That's why I revere him in the light that I do. But as far as these records that I've been hearing so far, mm-mm, this ain't it, bro. This this ain't it. So I don't know what's gonna be the next installment, if there's gonna be a next installment, or he's just gonna at this point drop records, because we are anticipating this album. We are. So I'm definitely interested to see where he's gonna go as far as direction on this, because at this point you're just teasing, and if it's gonna be a lackluster delivery as far as the music output with these live streams, they're cool, but when you're doing a live stream and this is something that's new, I'm anticipating a higher output as far as the quality of music, bro. So that's where I'm at with that, man. So hopefully we'll see what's going on with the next episode. But as far as these so far, that ain't it, player. That ain't it. So next up, everybody of course knows it's been a wild week. It's been a wild week. I spoke a little about this last week. Everybody knows what's been going on with Young Thug. Young Thug has been online, saying who did this, who did that, exposing paperwork, saying you told on your man this, da. And what I said last week was, dog, give us the music, put it out in the music. Music is an art form. It's a form of expression. That's where a lot of artists go to, get out whatever on their mind and turn it into some dope music. And I feel like Thug heard me because on Friday he released a record called "Closing Arguments," and I like that record. I really do. He's pretty much was addressing everything on his mind, how he was feeling. I like the beat. I like the way that he was flowing on it. It's a dope track. It's a dope track. I really fuck with it. And I feel like with Young Thug, since he's got out, this is the direction that he should have went. Like in comparison with Gunna, ever since Gunna got out of prison, he wasn't never really addressing none of this stuff. He was just putting out music. Some of the records I like, some of them I didn't. Some albums, one album I did like, the other two kind of been like lackluster. But overall, I can't say Gunna has been putting out some bad music. He's been putting out some good music. Never really addressing nobody online, none of that other stuff. That's the direction I felt Young Thug should have took. Granted, I understand how Young Thug feels, but it's all about how you go about it. And the way Thug has been moving since he's been gotten out, it's been kind of whack, bro. It's been on some whack shit. You got the jail calls getting leaked, which I think is corny. But also when Thug is talking about it's like, come on, bro, why you resorting to that? You get what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't be doing that. That shit is whack. But I do like the Closing Arguments record, and I hope this is a continuous theme as far as him just putting out music, working on an album, have an album come out, maybe just drop a few more singles, whatever the case may be. But this is the lane that he needs to stay in, especially for another major fact is that he's on probation. So Thug shouldn't really be going back and forth about legal proceedings that just happened with him. That's not smart at all. You're on probation for a reason. You don't want to give them any reason to be like, all right, bro, you got to go back and sit your ass now. Like I said last week, you in Miami, you doing your thing, you with your girl, you got blessed out of that situation, bro. Just keep your head down, focus on the music. If you need to go sit down, go talk to somebody, do that. But funnel all of that through the music because that's what we love you for. You get what I'm saying? So, again, if you do have a chance, go check that record out. It's called Closing Arguments. I think, again, like I said, I like the record and I like the direction that he went with it. And this is a safe play for him because, again, I don't want to see Young Thug get locked up again. I don't want to see that. I want to see him out here making music, doing what reason why he's Young Thug. That shit is behind you now. You need to move on with that. So, again, please go check that record out. It's called Closing Arguments. I think it's a real dope record. So, also, next up, we have The Interview. Now, what I found interesting is when we got Closing Arguments, we had Big Bank on his Instagram basically dropping a teaser trailer for an interview. So I don't know if they was kind of in cahoots with each other in terms of, doing a rollout as far as this record and this interview. But man, when I heard that interview, and again, this is with Big Bank Perspectives, that dropped on Saturday night. So you could go check that out. 3-hour interview too, but I listened to the audio version because he dropped the audio version first and he dropped the video at 8 p.m. And man, I've never even heard Thug talk this much. Honestly, like I can't remember when I actually sat down and listened to Thug talk to anybody for this extended period of time. And just listen to him talk, I could tell that's a man that's truly hurt. He has a lot of feelings inside of him that need to get out. I want to salute the Big Bang because he did a good job with this interview. I love how he started out asking Thug about his earliest memories. The first time he felt happy, the first time he felt sad, the first time he felt betrayed. That was a good start off for this interview. So I want to salute Big Bang off rip for doing a dope interview with Young Thug. But as far as Thug, man, you could tell that's a man that's been through a lot. He has a lot of pain inside of him. And just seeing him get it all out, like I'd never seen Thug in this light before. I've never seen Thug in this light before. So it was new for me to just really see a man outside of the music, just really express what he's been going through over the last 2-3 years. Stuff that he went through in his childhood that made him, kind of made him the man who he is. Like he saw his older brother die in his hands. That's a lot. I can relate. I seen my sister dead body on the hospital bed. You get what I'm saying? So I can understand where he's coming from in terms of feeling that pain and how that shapes you and how that changes his perspective on life. And honestly, with this whole thing with him and Gunna, I feel like it's a situation to where I believe him when he says he doesn't want to have a sit down with him. But ultimately, I feel like as if both of them just need to have a sit down and talk. Because he don't hate him. He's just really mad at that nigga. Like, I don't think and he said it, like, even this girl, he said in an interview, this girl told him, I don't think you hate him, you're just real mad. I was like, yeah. But there's nothing, he can't come back from that. And when I see Thug say that, it's like, damn, like, if you feel like as if he can't come back from that, then you need to get some type of closure. And it probably don't got to be with him. Again, he could probably just sit down and just, talk with somebody, talk to a therapist, because that's a lot of stuff that get kept up inside of you. And I do feel like the interview kind of was like a therapy session for him. It kind of was, Big Bank, he wasn't, he was very unbiased. He was fair in his questions. He was challenging Thug on certain things. But I feel like as if ultimately there's a lot of people that need to have a sit down. And that's going to segue into my next topic as far as this whole sit down thing. But I feel like Gunna and Thug really need to have that sit down and talk. I don't think Thug is going to do it, but I feel like it's necessary for him. YSL, Woody, Yak, all of them, because it's a lot of miscommunication. It's a lot of misunderstanding about what happened, what should have been done, who should have did this, why you did that. But I do understand Thug feeling betrayed. When this first came out and the video hit the timeline of Gunna, when the judge asked him, is YSL a gang? Yes, ma'am. Do you know people within YSL that committed crime? Yes, ma'am. Now, from what Gunna has said, and Big Bang said this too, but he said this online too, the lawyers tricked him. He felt like as if him saying that wasn't going to affect Thug. Thug is saying, bruh, you signing that paper could have sent me away for life. Because they're approaching it, our side is approaching it like, YSL is not a gang. You and other people are saying YSL is a gang. You got to remember, Gunna was the first one to take a plea. This is at the end of December 2022. So I always understood that aspect. You don't got to be a street nigga to understand why Thug feels the way that he feels about Gunna. That's just some simple shit. If my stance is YSL is not a gang, and then you get in front of the judge and your plea and you say, yes, YSL is a gang, bruh, you going against my cause. You hurting my case. Now I gotta get with my lawyers and try to finesse this shit and do all this other shit. So anybody with a logical brain can understand why Thug feels the way that he feels about Gunna. Especially when the state is looking at them two as the ringleaders. Like, yeah, you got other 28 co-defendants, but we don't even know 28 people associated with YSL. We know the two main people to be Gunna and Young Thug, and that's how they approaching it. So I always understood how Thug felt towards Gunna as regards to that. You know what I'm saying? You can understand some shit and not really, oh yeah, because at the end of the day, I still fuck with Gunna. I still listen to his music. I just understand why Thug feels the way that he feels. It's very simple. Like, I seen that was a big debate on the timeline, and you saw a lot of niggas picking sides in terms of, oh, he's a rat, oh, fuck Gunna, da-da-da. No, I'm not doing none of that. I still fuck with Gunna. I still gonna listen to his music. If he put out some dope shit, I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna fuck with it. But I also understand why, and the same for Thug too. I'm gonna still listen to Thug, but when Thug do some whack shit, I'm gonna call that out too. I didn't like all that shit that he was doing on social media. Him getting online, going back and forth, doing all this, all that. Bro, you just got out of jail. You got out of prison. You escaped a 25 to life type of sentence. You don't need to be online explaining to people who don't understand why your stance is your stance. But I did like him doing this interview, in the correct setting with somebody like Big Bang, who's an OG, who kind of, is part of the glue of Atlanta. So I did like that. But I do feel like as if Thug either needs to sit down and have a conversation with them, or he just need to go sit down with a therapist, bro. Because that's a nigga who is feel like, and it's not just Gunna. He feels betrayed by it. Of course, Gunna is the big pie event who he talked about the most, because that's somebody that was by him. He took him under his wings. Like, if you go listen to the interview, you said it. Like, bro, like, I took him under his wing. It took him years to blow. I put a lot of money. I went half with him on his mama first house, all that type of shit. I understand that. I understand, but it's also a way to go about it because when I look at Thug, I see a man who don't hate Gunna. He's just truly hurt. And you could be hurt. You could be hurt by your mans and not want to ever have a conversation with them no more. That don't mean you hate them. You just don't want to have a conversation with them no more. But like, damn, bro, like that shit really fucked me up. I just can't look at dog the same. I don't hate you, but yeah, I can't. You can't come back from that. You can't come back from that. And I get it. I understand it. And again, you don't gotta be a street nigga to understand why he's hurt. You get what I'm saying? Like if me and you came up and Thug said it, I look at Gunna as a street nigga. Yes, you were saying all this. Yes, you were saying in your records, I ain't with all that. Then you get up here, you sign this paper. That hurts my case. Now, granted, at the end, Thug was able to escape it, but it probably would have been an easier route had he not did that. And Gunna, same thing for Gunna. I think when Gunna still got hella love for Thug. I don't think what he did was to try to hurt him. But you got to understand too, you thinking about yourself in that moment when you go against that. Thug said it even when he was talking to Brian. He was like, "Yo, we can do this plea. All you gotta do is say this." And Thug was like, "No, bro, I'm not doing that. YSL is not a gang. We just got to take it to trial because I'm not doing that. They trying to say this is a gang. No, this is not a gang." So it's all about understanding people. And I love what Thug said in the interview about how we have to, as people, understand to put yourself in other people's shoes. And if you're not able to do that, then you don't need to be a part of these conversations or saying shit that you know don't align. Because you can easily put yourself in somebody's situation and be like, you know what, I understand that. You don't necessarily got to agree. I'm able to take myself out of the equation, put myself in that situation and be like, you know what, I understand that. I get it. I definitely understand. But at the end of the day, bro, it's like, what, going forward, what is it that you want to come from this? Because this can't be a continuation of pent up aggression, anger, and all that, because all it's going to do is drive you under. And that's why I want, even as a fan, for them two to come together and reconcile. That's what I want to happen. Do I think it's going to happen based off of what Thug was saying in this interview? No, I don't. No, I don't. And it's unfortunate. It is what it is. Like I said, I will continue to listen to Gunna. I will continue to listen to Thug. I will continue to do all of that. But and when I look at certain things, it's kind of like just to see where they was at 2019 to now, it's kind of like, damn, bro, like YSL really was like close, tight knit. So to see it all crumble, especially in a city like Atlanta, because Atlanta, you know, they pride themselves of being together, fucking with each other, all that other shit. So when I see YSL kind of fall the way that they fall, and it's sad. But unfortunately, we see things like this happen all the time. But for me, I think it's because, you know, I really seen the rise of that group and all of them come together as a label, as a collective. Everybody was doing what they were supposed to be doing, putting out dope shit. But now it's kind of like, I feel like even on Gunna's side, Gunna hasn't spoken about it. I don't know what he's been doing to kind of get through it. You know, he's been getting in the gym. That's a part of it. What we were seeing, you know, he just started a run club. Very dope. Very, very dope. The gym ultimately saved a lot of niggas' lives. That's why I always say on this show at the end, get your ass in that gym. The gym can do a lot for you, not just physically, but mentally. It can funnel to other parts of your life as far as discipline. But it's good to see Gunna really taking that step. Like what he's been doing post jail, I've liked from Gunna. I really have. Like he's kept his head down. He ain't really been getting caught up in no bullshit. He's been putting music out. He's been getting his body right. He's been getting his mental. Oh, well, I don't know if his mental is right, but he's been getting his body right. But ultimately, I want to see them two work it out. Because what's going to happen is it's going to be moments throughout this continuous timeline where it's going to be quiet. And then some shit pop up, niggas get to tweeting again. It get quiet, then niggas gonna get to tweeting again. It get quiet, and then niggas get to tweeting again. And you don't need that because it's not beneficial for none of the parties. And again, I believe there's a lot of love. It's a lot of love between Thug and Gunna. He just hurt. And sometimes you do get hurt by the people that you love the most. You do. And I can tell when I'm looking at him, nah, this ain't no, nah. You can tell, you can look at this man's eyes. Like, it even seemed like throughout this interview, there were moments where like he was choking up. Like he was trying to withhold tears. Like Thug, it was like, nah, Thug probably told him like, bro, I ain't about to cry on camera, but you can see that in a nigga that's really hurt. And I understand as far as a conversation, how that can be, especially with his come up. Like when he was talking about his come up, that's a lot for somebody, bro. Like his dad had, 11, 13 kids. His, a lot of his siblings, they was cramped up in, a two bedroom, 3 bedroom apartment, stuff like that. Again, he saw his brother die in his arms. His brother Unfook, he been in jail for like 12 plus years and all that. So that's a lot for somebody. It still don't give you an excuse for how he's been, performing on the internet, which again, I want him to be better with that. But ultimately, Thug needs to go see a therapist. And he needs to make things right with Gunna. As much as he says, I don't see him coming back from that and all that, I think a sit down would do him beneficial. And that don't mean y'all gotta be cool again. That don't mean y'all gotta be cool again. But a conversation does need to be had between Gunna and Thug. Because a conversation will give them a lot more clarity as far as who you are as a person. Hey, bro, if you're not this man who I thought you was, okay, cool. I just want you to know that this is what you did, this is why you hurt me, and we go our separate ways, ain't gotta be no beef. And one thing I did appreciate about Thug at the end of the interview, he said that about a lot of people. He said that about Lucci. He said that about P from QC. He said, bro, I ain't got no beef with y'all. I'm at a part in my life, I ain't got time to beef. It ain't worth it. So from that aspect, I am glad that he's maturing in that aspect because beef is beneficial for nobody. At the end of the day, a lot of y'all are somebody's brother, uncle, son, father, ultimately father. So nobody needs to be beefing. Again, niggas just beat a Rico case. Just get back to y'all true art form and what make y'all great. And that's what this is what I love from this interview. But this was just so heartfelt because, again, I've never seen Thug in this light. Never seen Thug in this light. And I'm looking at a man that's just hurt, bro. Just hurt. And I understand that. And some of it, I do sympathize with it. I really do. But it's all about how you go about it. Because regardless of the fact you and Gunna got history. So I can never, if I have a homie who hurt me, I can be online, even if I do feel like he ratted, going online and saying it. Going online and antagonizing him. Regardless of what he did to me. Online, I can't get myself to do that. Because of the fact of the matter is we got history. We got history, bro. We got history. That shit that you did was some fuck shit. Even if Gunna was, I still wouldn't do it. I'm going to address you like a man. We're going to have a sit down. We're going to have a FaceTime. We're going to have a phone, whatever the case may be. But it's not going to be displayed online. It's not. We can't do that. Because it just stirs the fire. And a lot of the times, what niggas are doing, even outside of them, a lot of the time, us as niggas, we're protecting our ego. Us as the man are not threatened. We're protecting our ego. And we got to get out of that. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's necessary to be done. Don't let you wanting to protect your ego get you caught up in some shit that could get you sent away or you doing some shit that you regret. I'm not saying it's okay. It's not okay to have an ego. But in terms of always feeling like you got to put a wall up, you got to defend it, you got to fight it. No, bro. It ain't worth it. Let people say what the fuck they want to say. But if you, as the man and your family is not threatened physically, all that shit don't matter. All right, bro, you just saying that shit. When I see him, we'll have a conversation about it. And a lot of rappers, people in general, could take a lesson from this interview. They can. Because again, shout out to Bank. Bank wasn't just rolling with everything Thug said. Yeah, he challenged him on a lot of things. There was some accountability that Thug has to take too. There's some accountability. And I felt like throughout the interview, there was some accountability that he took. I will say that. I would be a lie to say I feel like he didn't take some accountability in terms of, how everything transpired. But again, salute the Big Bank. Salute the Thug. I do want to see Thug and Gunna come together one day. Do I think it will happen? Nah. But I think it's necessary for the both of them. just in terms of everything that they've been through together. Because there's been a lot of shit. You got to think that shit, all that shit happened in 2022. Here we are 3 years later. That's a lot of pent up feelings and aggression in a 3-year span. It is. And hopefully Thug continues to just put this out throughout the music. So that's pretty much all I got to say about that. If you do have a chance, please go check that interview out. So next up, Camron and Dame Dash. And this is kind of what I meant when I said everybody needs to have a sit down. Camron and Dame Dash at it again. This is every 3 to 6 month thing with these two. So Camron had an interview on his show Talk with Flea that's on Revolt. That's separate from It Is What It Is about 2 weeks ago with Memphis Bleak. And one of the things that bothered Dame Dash was him, talking to Memphis about how Rockefeller broke up, and he kind of was keying about it. Dame Dash got on. I saw an interview. I don't know if it was on Art of Dialogue, but I saw it uploaded on Art of Dialogue talking about basically getting that Cam. Like, bro, like you sitting up there, you laughing, you talking about how what you did, that really affected The Rock. It broke us up. Like you sitting down, you laughing with your ops about, and I think he was referring to when he was had an interview with 50 Cent. You laughing about this. That shit wasn't funny. It broke up The Rock. You haven't had a hit since 2003 and all this other shit. And where I'm at with this whole Rockefeller thing, even though I don't think it's going to happen, everybody really needs to have a fucking sit down. Now, of course, I don't believe Jay-Z is going to come to the table. But this continuous every 3, 6 month, 9 month thing of niggas going back, get everybody to the fucking table and sit down as men and just get it all the fuck out so this shit can be done. I'm talking about Jewels, Jim Jones, Cam, Dame, Beanie, Dame, Jay, everybody. Just everybody come to the table, sit down, and get it all out and handle that shit as men. Because niggas is 40, 50 years old now. All that shit happened damn near 20 years ago. Cam was wrong to be getting on there talking about that shit in that light. That shit wasn't funny. Because the Rockefeller was a big thing, and for it to go down the way that it did, miscommunication. Here you are, you on an interview with Memphis Bleak, and you laughing about the shit. It's not funny. So I understand and I feel Dame on that. But also on the flip side too, Dame, he has some accountability because he also been doing interviews over the last 3, 4, 7 years talking about niggas. When he said 10 years ago in an interview, I don't sit around talking about a man all day. What Dame been doing over the last 3, 4 years? Talking about niggas all day when he get on interviews. So everybody need to just come to a table, sit down, and have a fucking conversation. Because when we remember these niggas, we shouldn't be remembering these niggas for the shit that they doing in 2025 as far as all this goofy shit, all this back and forth. Bro, The Rock was a great time. Niggas broke up. It happens. It was unfortunate. But we should always be remembering the good times when we hear about these niggas in 2025 and 2026 and 2027. Instead, we got niggas on interviews laughing about shit that happened. We got niggas on interviews talking about, oh, this is why you ain't had a hit since this. Oh, no, this is really what happened with Dipset. This ain't happened with that. Everybody come to the fucking table and have a conversation and just get it all out. We don't even got to know about it as a public. As fans, we don't got to know about it. Everybody has each other's numbers. Oh, Cam didn't promote my movie. I really didn't like the movie. That shit was da-da-da-da-da. Well, Cam was always late for this. And, oh, Jim Jones did, or Jewels did. Bruh, it's always something with that whole Rockefeller ordeal. It's always something. I'm not even saying Memphis Bleak got issues with anybody, but I remember Cam was like, yo, when the last time you talked to Beanie? I ain't really talked to Beanie, ain't no beef or nothing like that. I still holler at Petey Crack, da-da-da-da. Everybody just needs to have a fucking sit down, bruh, and have a conversation. Again, us as the public don't got to be privy to the conversation. But all this shit that's going on is not beneficial for nobody. Point blank, period. Cam doing great shit with It Is What It Is. Cam doing great shit with Talk with Fleet. And this is the same shit. This is years ago, almost a decade ago. I said the same shit. Now, we did get some dope diss records between Cam and Mace, but ultimately, I wanted Cam and Mace to get back together. They did. They hashed it out. They doing great shit together. Got a multi-million-dollar deal with It Is What It Is. That's how shit need to be. Because again, life is too fucking short. It's too short, bro. And then you're gonna wish you said what you said when that person was alive. Dame, he going through health problems like crazy. Just had eye surgery, diabetic problems and all that. He got to get some new teeth, all that. Like Dame literally looks terrible. And I would even have, if I was an advisor of Dame, I wouldn't have, or a friend, I would have tried my best to not have him out there in that interview looking like that. Bro, you need to get your body right. You need to get your body right. And I understand Dame, everybody is accountable. Everybody, this is not just me getting on Dame. I'm getting on Cam because Cam plays a lot. He does. Cam play everything. Don't be funny, bro. Everything don't be funny, especially when you're opening up old wounds. That be the thing, bro. Like if you know something ended sour, don't speak on that shit. And if you are gonna speak on that shit, speak on it in a positive light. Only. Because then it's going to get back. You know how Dame is. Y'all niggas know each other. That's the thing. Y'all known each other 20 going on 30-something years. Y'all know how each other going to react to that shit. Especially Harlem niggas. Y'all know how Harlem niggas give it up, man. Y'all not new to this shit. So niggas need to stop getting on interviews, kikiing, laughing, and doing all this other shit. Because it's not funny at the end of the day. Niggas are hurt behind that shit still. Every time I hear Dame talk, I hear him talking about the old days. That nigga's really hurt about how that Rockefeller shit broke up. But it's over now. But it can't continue to go like this. If niggas need to have a sit down, have the fucking sit down, have the conversation so this shit can be done. I would like to see it be done again. We don't got to see it. It don't got to be no interview. It don't got to be no lie. Y'all get on the fucking phone call and have a conversation and be done with it. Now I know Jay ain't gonna come to the table and sit down. Jay just ain't gonna do it. Jay don't say shit. So he probably don't need to come to the table. He don't wash his hand clean with it. He don't speak on the Rock past days at all. Positive or negative. He do his thing. But all this little shit that Dame and Cam be doing, bro, this shit gotta stop, bro. Y'all niggas is legends. Y'all niggas is legends. I want to remember my legends for how they were at their peak. And speak about this shit that they doing post the music. Like Cam doing what it is. Like he's doing with Talk with Flea. Again, Dame, he got some financial problems. I want to see Dame come up from under that and get to a better place financially. Because I know that shit is fucking with his mental. Because we all know when Dame, he was a flashy nigga. He popped this shit. But now with all this legal shit that he been going through, yes, I can tell it's definitely affecting him. But none of this is beneficial for either party, bro. It gotta die, bro. It got to. Because it's corny at the end of the day. It's corny and it's non-productive, really. And it goes against everything that y'all niggas be talking about. Oh, I don't really do this. Well, y'all niggas doing this shit every 3-6 months, bro. God damn. God damn. Cause this shit here is just ridiculous, bro. It's tired, bro. It's tired. It's tired, man. It's tired. So please, Camron and Dame Dash, please just stop this shit, bro. If y'all niggas need to have a sit down and end in a fight, hopefully nobody fight. But if that's what y'all got to do to settle all this shit, just no more of this internet shit. Back and forth. Niggas is 50. Dame is 55. Cam is 49. Enough. Dead it, bro. Dead it. So next up, another wild story that hit the TL. So Pablo Torres dropped a bomb on the TL. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, about basically the Clippers finessing some shit to pay Kawhi Leonard $28 million for his salary or whatever. Right? So, and let me just start off by saying that Pablo Torres, even though he did break this story, he had to be highly bored to be doing some shit like this. This is some boring shit to me. So I want to read this because I'm not going to read the whole thing, of course, but I'm just basically give y'all the quick breakdown. So facing allegations that he and his team circumvented the NBA salary cap with star player Kawhi Leonard, Los Angeles Clippers owner Steve Balmer has doubled down on his denial. In an interview with SportsCenter, Balmer disputed the accusation that he arranged a no-show endorsement deal for Kawhi Leonard. Investigative journalist Pablo Torre recently reported that Balmer used a $50 million investment in a company, Aspiration, to facilitate a $28 million no-show deal for Leonard. Such an arrangement will violate the NBA's cap circumvention rules, and the league has launched an investigation into the matter. However, Balmer refused Torre's report, saying that he and the Clippers had no role in greasing the wheels on the deal between Leonard and Aspiration, a now bankrupt company in the midst of fraud investigation. Balmer and the team did invest in Aspiration, a sustainability company, in 2021, but claims to have no control over any decision making. We made an investment in the company, Balmer told ESPN. All fine. I had no control over this company. This is important under the salary cap rules. I own less than 3% of the company. There were investors who put a lot more money than I did. I had no board seat. I had no control. Heck, it was a fraudulent company. It's possible nobody had control. Balmer also stated Leonard and Aspiration weren't introduced until months after the six-time All-Star signed his 4-year max contract in August of 2021. At that time, we hadn't introduced Kawhi to Aspiration. Balmer said of Leonard's 4-year contract, we were done with Kawhi. We were done with Aspiration. The deals were all locked and loaded. Then they did actually introduce to Kawhi. Under the rules, we can introduce our sponsors, our athletes. We just can't be involved. Asked why a company like Aspiration would pay Leonard $28 million and expect nothing in return, Balmer pointed to the company's misdeeds and admitted he was embarrassed by the situation. I don't know why they did what they did. Back in 2019, here's another pillar in this shit because Uncle Dennis is a trip. Back in 2019, Leonard's uncle advisor, Dennis Robertson, was investigated by the NBA for allegedly seeking impermissible benefits during the free agency process. Ultimately, the league said it didn't find any evidence to support the accusations, but questions around Leonard and his camp are back due to Aspiration scandal. According to the documents obtained by Torre, court filings show that Leonard is still owed $7 million from Aspiration. In terms of his status with the Clippers, Leonard is in the second year of a 3-year extension he signed in January of 2024, and he is set to make $50 million in the 2025-2026 season. So let me go ahead and say this, because the Timberwolves were kind of accused of something like this years ago, and they got hit with a hefty fine. I think they lost like 5 draft picks. They got hit with a hefty fine. This had something to do with Joe Smith when they drafted Joe Smith. Let me say this. Even though this is illegal, if Steve Ballmer is guilty of this, I'm not really upset about this shit, bro. Like, I feel like this is just a case of, again, because Ballmer saying that he don't know nothing about this. He's not guilty of any wrongdoing, so we got to wait for the investigation. What I believe there might have been some foul play at hand, but I can also see the side of Ballmer not being involved in this. We all know at the end of the day, these business people are smart for many reasons, just not for the reasons that they're involved with teams that the way they do. You got to remember, a lot of owners are not billionaires because of the teams that they own. They either came from Microsoft, hedge fund, whatever the case. I know David Tepper, he's the owner of my Panthers. He came from Microsoft or some shit like that, hedge fund owner, one of the two. This ain't some new shit. So ultimately, I ain't really mad at this if Ballmer is guilty. I'm not really mad at it, bro. Is it illegal? Should he be, should they get penalized for it? Yes, if he is guilty. But man, this is a battle of who get caught, who don't. Like, owners be finding their way to finesse the cap all the time, bro. This ain't no new shit, and it's probably going on right now. But I don't really feel like this is something that's super, super serious. A lot of people looking at it from a standpoint of, it knocks out the small markets to get players and all this other shit. I'm to the point now, when it comes to this whole big market, small market shit, bro, that shit it's a lazy argument now. Like, big markets are not guaranteed no championships, which goes into my next point. Kawhi Leonard been finessing these niggas, bro. He been pimping these niggas since 2019 and got no ring to show for it. That's really what this boils down to. Like, if he got $28 million for a no-show job, you got to tip your hat to that nigga, bro. Since Kawhi has been there in 2019, bro, he has no ring to show for this shit. Ultimately, that's what Steve Ballmer wanted from that whole ordeal. Paul George not even there no more. He ain't even there no more. What was supposed to happen was they got Kawhi Leonard and PG, and they were supposed to get a championship before they even got into their new dome, the Intuit Dome. That's why they signed him in 2019. That was a championship right here now and for the foreseeable future. For the near future. They were supposed to at least be in a championship, have won at least 2 rings by now. Hasn't happened. So I ultimately look at this like Kawhi been pimping these niggas, bro. $28 million for a no-show job? Shit. And I'm pretty sure there's other players that this has happened to. We just don't know about it. Because I'm also seeing Pablo is going to investigate Jalen Brunson next. And it's like, hey, bro, like, what the fuck Pablo got going on? I don't know if this is something that he normally does. This is the first time I've seen a big story come from him in terms of this. But there's some boredom shit on his end. I'm just calling a spade, bro. There's some boredom shit. Nigga, you bored. Why are you snooping around about some shit like this? Like, who do shit like this? Nah, he could look at it from a standpoint of, trying to make sure everybody doing the right thing, but I don't feel like that's his place. I saw him and Mark Cuban going back and forth. Mark Cuban is standing 100% behind Steve Balmer behind this, saying, hey, my dog ain't guilty of this, basically. He ain't guilty. Him and Pablo had a little back and forth. Oh, you could come. We can have a sit down. We can talk about it. So, again, there's a lot more information to come from this. Like I said, this is a pending investigation. But ultimately, I don't feel like this is a super, super bad crime. Like, you get what I'm saying? If Balmer is guilty, okay, take away some draft picks, fine them. But, man, this if the Bulls was doing some shit like this to sign a player, I would be like, hey, bro, hey, did what you had to do. And the Clippers not even my team, and I'm saying this. So if other teams are trying to find ways to finesse the cap to sign players, hey, all right, bro, it is what it is. Go win a fucking game. Go win some championship. That's all I really want. But there's a lot of finessing going around with this shit, bro. Like, if you think I'm not that green to think that there's not some funny shit going on with the books in all sports. Baseball, basketball, football, probably not baseball because they ain't got no fucking salary cap. And honestly, basketball and football shouldn't have no fucking salary cap. I've always felt like that, but it is what it is. That's why when I be getting on my shit about signing players and why you not re-signing, I be getting on teams about that because y'all know what the cap is. You know what you need to be doing. You know what the cap is going to look like 2-3 years from now. So there's no reason why said players shouldn't be signed and shit like that. But this is some funny shit to me, bro. This is some funny shit to me. Ultimately, man, Kawhi pimping, he pimping these niggas. And Uncle Dennis, I have heard stories. I have heard stories about Uncle Dennis, trying to own percentages of teams. Oh, I need this car, I need this boat, whatever the case may be. I've heard Uncle Dennis allegedly asking for a lot of shit during Kawhi's free agency run. I have. Like when they was shopping, when they was talking with the Lakers, there was rumors about how he asked for certain, and Genie was like, nah, bro, like we not doing that. What the fuck you got going on? But, according to what I just read, they didn't find no wrongdoing. But I did hear Uncle Dennis has kind of been like trying to strong arm teams with certain shit. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said, there's more to come from this, and we just got to see how this unfolds. But ultimately, I ain't really mad at this shit, bro. I ain't mad at this. So, of course, you already know I record on Sunday, so by the time this episode is out, week 1 has already been wrapped up. So I'm just basically recapping what happened Thursday and Friday. Thursday night, we opened up with the Eagles and Cowboys. Good game. Eagles came out victorious in that, though. They handled business. I think the Eagles won 24-20. Let me see. Yep, they won 24-20 in their opening night. They dropped their banner. And, when I look at that game, a lot of missed opportunities from the Cowboys. Dak played a great game. Receivers got to catch some passes. I don't know what the fuck CeeDee Lamb got going on. But my nigga, you need to be on the jug machine times 10 this week. This nigga had 3 major drops. I was like, that's not familiar with his game. Not familiar with his game at all. Crucial drops by the tight end in the end zone on one through that Dak had, and then ultimately the last one that CD dropped when he was diving for the ball, he still should have caught it. Dropped that to kill their drive, and essentially the Eagles were able to run out the clock. Just looking at the stats, Jalen Hurts, he threw for he threw for 152 yards, nothing really crazy. Rushed for 62, 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley had 60 yards rushing. Average 3 yards, one touchdown. Dak Prescott, 21 to 34, 188. Again, the numbers are not reflective of his game because a lot of those drops, I think he had a total of 5 drops from everybody. And CD had 3 of them. Javonte Williams rushed for 54 yards. Miles Sanders is, dog, get him out the league. I seen this man bust out a big run. He got hawked down by a linebacker. Not only did he get hawked down by a linebacker, on the next play, he proceeds to fumble. Immediately, I flash back to 2023 when, on our first drive, this nigga fumbled. This nigga got a fumbling problem, bro. And he's slow as hell. Where the fuck did his speed go at? He's not 30 years old. Miles Sanders is in his prime. So I'm trying to figure out what the fuck happened with that. But if you Dallas, I ultimately don't feel bad. I feel more frustrated than upset by this loss, more than anything. I don't really come away from this looking like, damn, bro, like, we ass. Nah, Dallas looks pretty good. I don't expect Dallas to make the playoffs this year. So, they turn out to be a playoff team. Again, I'll come back on here and walk back what I said. As far as the Eagles side, A.J. Brown, 1 catch, 8 yards. That's a continuous theme too. Jalen don't be looking for A.J. I don't think that's really nothing, no, man. They'll get on the same page. Eagles is a good team, and they'll continue to be all right. But getting to something that happened that ain't never happened, this nigga Jalen Carter spit on Dak Prescott before the first snap of the game. Bro, what the fuck are you thinking? And Jalen Carter should be suspended at least 2 games. He should be suspended at least 2 games for that. But it's no room for no shit like that, bro. Then they showing the video of Dak, he was spitting on the ground. Bro, are y'all stupid? Like, really, are y'all stupid? Stop playing in my face. Dak Prescott wasn't spitting nowhere near Jalen Carter, bro. At all. So y'all can sit up here and try to do all that extra no. Jalen Carter should be suspended 2 games for that. It's just no room for that in the league, bro. No room for that. You the best defensive player on the team. Like, bro, arguably one of the best, if not the best, interior lineman in the league. Tighten up, bro. There's also a continual theme for him, too, coming out of college, just doing dumb shit. That has never happened before, bro. And they get thrown out the game, first game of the season before 1 snap because you spit on the player. Now, granted, the Eagles won the game, but the Cowboys' O-line was moving them niggas for a reason. And Jordan Davis still was down there. So, ultimately, you kind of hurt your team. Yeah, they came out with the victory, but come on, bro, tighten up. It's always something with Jalen Carter, bro. Knock it off. It's just no room for that shit in the game, bro. None. So, moving on to the next game. We had Chargers and Chiefs play on Friday night. That game was on YouTube. So, let me go ahead. Let me find that game. And shout out. I remember last year they had one of the opening games in Rio de Janeiro. I think is that where that game was at? I think that's where that game was at. This shit acting slow right now. My bad, y'all. God damn, this shit playing with me. So the Chiefs and Chargers played Friday night. Chargers won that game 27-21. Handle business. Shout out my dog. Everybody know I'm a Justin Herbert guy. My dog Justin Herbert had 318 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think he ran for another 50 or something like that. Another 50 yards. No, he ran for 32 yards. He had a big run on 30-14 to basically ice the game. And I'm expecting another big year from Justin Herbert. There's always been conversations this offseason and preseason as to who's ranked top 5. And, some people question why Justin Herbert is ranked top 5, bro. He's ranked top 5 for a reason. Everybody keep talking about his playoff woes. He has had bad playoff performances. Yes. And I'm going to continue to use this point because it's valid. Peyton Manning didn't win a playoff game until the 6th year in the league. And prior to that, Peyton was getting killed. But Peyton also was recognized as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Same thing applies for Justin Herbert. Same thing applies, bro. Like, I don't know what's so hard for people to understand about why Justin Herbert is viewed in the light that he's viewed in. Because essentially, Because essentially what's going on is you're trying to just, if you're gonna lean your hat on the fact that he doesn't win in the playoffs, you got to do that for everybody. But again, quarterbacks also, and this whole stupid QB win-loss record, that's some of the stupidest shit I've ever seen. Like, if you the type of nigga who do QB win-loss, win-loss for QBs, bro, no. Stop it. Just stop. Peyton Manning in his first 5 years, 138 touchdowns, 100 interceptions, no playoff wins. Justin Herbert in his first 5 years, 137 touchdowns, 45 interceptions, no playoff wins. That's elite shit right there on top of the tape. So, yes, I'm going to continue to use that point. We still recognize Peyton Manning as one of the top quarterbacks in the league, if not the best. During that time, Justin Herbert, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league for a reason. It just ain't his stats. It's the tape, his accuracy, his arm strength, his playmaking ability. I have him as the 5th-ranked quarterback in the league. And a lot of people view him in that light. That's just what it is. Last year, he threw 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, bro. That's elite shit. Again, on top of the tape. So y'all just got to let that shit go, bro. The man is elite at the end of the day. If you disagree, all right, cool. Niggas don't got to continuously have this back and forth about, oh, yeah, bro, nobody's being biased for Justin fucking Herbert, bro. Nobody's doing that. The Chiefs, on the other hand, Patrick Mahomes, he had an all right game. 24, 39, 258, 1 TD. Xavier Worthy got knocked out first play of the game, shoulder injury, running a cross route, ran into Travis Kelce. So I don't know what the extent of his injury is. But the Chiefs going to have to clean up their defense for sure because it seemed like they couldn't cover Quentin Johnson. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Quentin Johnson had 2 touchdowns. And, it looked like he turning over a leaf. I don't know. I don't want to get tricked early, but, we'll see what happens with that. Lyle McConkey, 6 catches, 74 yards. Keenan Allen is back with the Chargers. Good to see. Good veteran presence. 7 catches, 68 yards, 1 TD. But, yeah, the Chiefs, man, they got to tighten up. Their receiver core is looking kind of shaky. Outside of Hollywood Brown, he dropping passes. This nigga had 10 catches, 99 yards, but his game was kind of like mediocre. You got Juju Smith. He needs to be more of a factor. Travis Kelce, he out there. He had 1 touchdown. I think you got the rookie Tyquan Thornton. So I think the Chiefs will be all right. I do got them winning the division, but I do think the Chargers can can contend for that division. I do got the Chargers making the playoffs, but I never bet against Mahomes. Mahomes is still a bad motherfucker. I see somebody say, oh, look like Mahomes regress. I ain't seen that motherfucker regress at all. Like, y'all can't take, just because somebody has a bad game, that don't mean that they regress. All the greats have bad games. He looked shitty in the Super Bowl, yes. He's got 2 shitty Super Bowl performances, but guess what? He got 3 Super Bowl performances that are all time and for a reason. So don't bet against that boy Patrick Mahomes, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. So again, the Chargers took home that victory, 27-21. Again, week 1 of the NFL season is here, man. Here. Hopefully my Panthers had handled business versus the Jaguars, but I don't really got high expectations for us. I really don't. I expect us to win 5 to 7 games. I think our defense is going to be bad this year. Very, very bad. Outside our corner position and DT with Derrick Brown, I don't really see where we strong at. On defensive end, it's going to be tough getting some sacks. Linebackers, I still don't know who our leading linebacker is. And then, safety position is kind of like, I know we got Dog from Oakland, from Vegas, but that's where I'm at with it, bro. That's where I'm at with it. So, that's pretty much all I got this week, man. That's pretty much all I got as far as that. Nothing else to really cover. Again, hope y'all are continuous out here working. You chasing your dreams, chasing your goals. You're manifesting. You're not just manifesting, because manifesting without working is just a wish. That's all that shit is. You can't be out here manifesting, not putting in the work. So hopefully you're out here, you're manifesting and putting in the work, having that faith, and getting your ass in that gym. Please make sure you're getting your ass in that gym, bro. It'll do you wonders. And ultimately, you're out here, you're being safe. So like I say every week, man, this is I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I hope you heard what I said the first time, because I'm not repeating myself. I'm out.